clowning you. Villains with every aspect I choose, been showing just that they lose when they step in the game. Everyone knows my name. Doctor Strange, who, Spider-Ham, maybe, and Black Widow, on a secret mission to stop the villain. Dance of Death is the main event. Unless I'm Rocket Raccoon, no time to be rude. Oh wait, I just murmured you. Superhero, always willing to go to blow with crimes to save so many lives. A stud is do or die. Marvel champions, you a champion. I'm champion, we are champions. I'm a superhero, always willing to go to blow with crimes to save so many lives. A stud is do or die. Marvel champions, you a champion. I'm champion, we are champions. They say it's a little bit slow, but I'm all about control. When I stun and confused, cause there's no way I would lose. I flip up and down, villain stand you round till I'm ready or not. This combo ready to drop 20, 30 damages and cannon hawk smash. I'm a bash, put him in the trash and call it a match. Let's step up in the portal or get up in game. Dead Winnie the Nelson, so keep it locked and watching. I'm a superhero, always willing to.
What is up, everybody? This is Describe Gaming. I'm bringing you my live Jubilee preview. Now, I have not looked at her stuff. All I did was sort of get some images, put it together. So this is going to be kind of like a live reaction. I've been really busy. Also, I've been kind of caught up with Dice Throne, my guilty pleasure right now. So this is not somebody that has like studied it, done my homework. But I do have the knowledge of playing so many Marvel Champion games. I think I can just, on the fly give you some good ideas and how I think about this hero. So yeah, this preview is sort of going to be my initial reactions and maybe things I see what this hero is doing. And we'll talk about it. I open up my chat for questions or thoughts, opinions. Go ahead. This is like very casual type chat. As long as you kind of stay on topic. Again, this is Marvel Champions. This is Jubilee. So let's jump into Jubilee. And we're going to pull up Fantasy Flight's website. And Shopping Spree, announcing the Jubilee Hero Pack for Marvel Champions, the card game. I like the artwork. There's kind of hit or miss with some of the artwork in Marvel Champions. I think Apocalypse looks a little bit too cartoony here, but yeah, speaking of artwork, for the most part, I think Marvel Champions gets that comic book flavor artwork, and I do like it. Dark Beast up here looks really menacing, and I like the artwork, but I do find there are some like hit or miss artworks in the game. But considering how many cards there are and how much busyness is going on in Marvel Champions, understandable. I can't always have like so many good art in the game, but no, I like some of the artwork so far. I think it's pretty awesome. Jubilee's a cool character. That kind of teenage, rebellious, like kind of chip on her shoulder type personality. Let's see how they came up thematically with her. Now, I know based on some comic book knowledge, her powers, she can amplify, I guess, like sparks or something, but like almost like fireworks, and they can blind. They could do damage. So Jubilee does a lot of cool things with her kind of mutant powers, although I might have gotten that kind of wrong. I'm not like an expert in the lore, but I generally kind of understand what Jubilee does. I think she's kind of similar to Boom Boom or Dazzler or something like that. No, not Boom Boom, but like I think Dazzler has something similar to Jubilee. So then they give us some lore here. Orphan as a teenager, Jubilation Lee survived on her own by taking up residence in her favorite shopping mall. After her mutant power to After her mutant power to generate explosive energy manifested, she found a new home with X-Men. Now she uses her power as a colorful hero, Jubilee. Fantasy Flight Games is pleased to announce Jubilee Hero Pack for Marvel Champions, the card game. So this bright, energetic hero bursts into battle with this expansion pack, which introduces Jubilee as a new playable hero alongside our 15 signature cards, with a pre-built Justice deck ready to play from the moment you open the box. Oh man, my voice just cracked right there. Yeah, I still don't mind the pre-builts, but I do think there's obviously some duds. The only thing about for me with the negative side of pre-builds is that you're getting a lot of the same cards over and over again, and I guess that's understandable. But if you're someone that has collected everything, it does get a little tedious when you have like a stack of like 20 particular one card because you've collected every single hero. But I understand they got to sort of do that to make it more welcoming for like a newcomer that, oh, I really like Jubilee, I'm going to pick her up. And then they can go and play right away. And it's good for people that just don't want to build decks, right? So the casual player. But it'd be interesting. Maybe Fantasy Flight in the future maybe changes it up instead of always doing a pre-built and giving us so many of the same cards. But they probably aren't going to change that because it's been working, right? Nobody's like really complaining about it. This hero pack also includes a bonus modular encounter set featuring the Assassin and a Death Trap Enthusiast Arcade. I don't know too much about Arcade. I remember like he's kind of a goofy clown dude villain, and I guess his whole thing is trying to trap the X-Men. So it'll be interesting how they do that thematically and mechanically with this encounter set, if it's going to be, you know, kind of crazy. Like totally, I know Jubilee would say that all the time in the cartoon. So that's kind of funny. Even among other heroes of Marvel Champions, Jubilee. So this is the hero. I'm just going to zoom 240. Yeah, 240 is probably good. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay. Okay, I was at 300% now. Yeah, I think that's better at this zoom magnification. All right, so she has a 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. She has like totally, it's a ability resource on her hero attacks. Exhaust Jubilee, generate a wild resource. So that will be the first in the game for a hero like that per se that you have to exhaust and you generate a resource. The closest, the other closest hero would be Venom, Flash Thompson, which take a damage, generate a wild resource, which is much better. But obviously you can't just copy paste. But so that's the similarity there to Venom, and it's a good resource ability for sure. So even among other heroes, Marvel Champions, Jubilee has a bit of a unique kit. Her play style is all about utilizing different resource types in big, bright bursts, and her innate ability helps her get that done. After all, a wild resource can be treated as any type you want. Yeah, that's true. Then she has Mallrat Action. So this is on our altar side. What's up, Adam? How are you doing? Yeah, sorry I'm late to the party. I know you're like, Des, when is the Jubilee preview coming out? It's here. But this is like live reaction to it. Search your deck for the shopping spree player size game put into play. So this is the second hero in the game with their own unique player size scheme. First being Cable. So limited once per phase. So I wonder if she has a few shopping spree size schemes. I'm not sure. We'll see. Obviously, I got to read a little bit more. As for her alter ego side, as someone who used to live in the mall, it makes sense that Jubilation Lee. Oh, that's literally her name. I thought that was just like a funny kind of dad pun or something that Fantasy Flight likes to do. No, I guess Jubilation Lee is her name. is still a mall rat at heart with her unique player size scheme shopping spree. Okay. So there's no victory on it. That's interesting. So then when you complete it, it goes in your discard pile. Wow. Threat cannot be removed from the scheme by heroes or allies. So alter ego actions. The only way threat can be removed is by alter ego exhausting. Exhaust your identity, remove one threat from here. Any player may trigger this ability. So it's not based on your rec either. So it's just exhaust, remove one. The player who defeated the scheme searches their deck and discard power for an item card and puts into play. So there is quite a few heroes with the keyword item. I mean, I definitely know there's a few heroes with some good items in the game. I think Adam Warlock has some items. Gambit has some items. There's quite a few. Rock Raccoon, I believe. Or maybe not. No, his is more weapons. But my point is, this will be quite good in some pairings. And the other thing is, it's not a victory size scheme, so you go back to alter, like defeat it, go back to alter, search your deck for. Okay, so it has to be. You have to kind of go through your counter deck, or there must be a card to kind of to bring it back. Once it's back in the deck, she's able to mall rat it. But yeah, that's extremely powerful. That's basically, I mean, it's a little bit, it's narrowed. It's an item. But like I said, there's some heroes in the game that have very good items that are well worth it. And when defeated, the player who defeated the scheme searches their deck and discard pile for an item card and puts into play. So it's not like the whole table gets their item or whatever. It's the player who defeated it. So obviously you're gonna like time it with your team. Like you might get help from somebody that doesn't have items, but they're just helping you do the shopping spree, and then whoever needs the item from their deck can defeat it. And so it's just 2 exhaust basically. But I was gonna say Chimichanga Truck from Deadpool allows you to ready an alter ego. There is some ways to ready an alter ego, like with the X-Men support. If you put honorary X-Men on somebody, I forget what the X-Men support is, but it's when you play an X-Men ally, you can ready an X-Men. As long as you have honorary X-Men, you can do it like in alter ego. But yeah, I don't know if you'd be doing that combo just to get a shopping spree, but fairly quick, easy way to get an item. Again, just 2 exhausts. And if you're, playing multiplayer, you're if two-handed even, your other ally or your teammate can exhaust, and then Jubilee can go get her item. So pretty cool. Now, interesting though, as I read this a little bit more, threat cannot be removed from this scheme by heroes or allies. Now, hear me out, guys. Heroes or allies. What if you're Black Widow and you do a covert ops in alter ego form? It's not say hero action on that card, and you're playing it in your alter form. That could be a real question there. I mean, if I use the logic of what the text is saying on this card, Gambit in alter ego is thwarting an alter ego. It says threat cannot be removed from the scheme by heroes or allies. Well, Remy LeBeau in alter ego is not a hero, not an ally. So he could do his, forget what it's called, but where he can basically thwart based on the counter reveal in alter ego. So Gambit seems like an awesome hero. Like Gambit could one-shot it himself doing his ability. But again, maybe they screwed up on the wording, because Fantasy Flight is kind of notorious for kind of messing up on the rules. But maybe they didn't, and that's their intention, and that would be really cool. Adam says what stinks is that her alter ego doesn't let her grab shopping spree from discard. Yeah, I noticed that. But obviously that's a balancing thing. Now we might in the future get cards that can pull. Well, wait a sec. We do have. Yeah, and she's an X-Men. I think she's X-Men. Yeah, so she has the mutant trait and X-Men trait. The card that I'm thinking of is it's the basic event Mutant Education, I think, where you can play that in an altar and bring your identity cards back from discard into your deck. So there is a way to get it. You just have to run the Mutant Education, and then if you play the support for it, you get a card draw from it, so you don't lose any tempo. So that, I assume that will be in a lot of deck builders' repertoire. Basically, that will be heavily put in a Jubilee deck. So shopping spree. Okay, so first item. So I assume she's gonna have a lot of items based on just what I'm reading so far. So this is an item, upgrade 2, Jubilee's coat. This gives her +1 thwart. That's gonna bump her to a 2, which is respectable. Especially for those true solo hardcore Marvel Champion players out there that love solo. You always want a good hero with thwart when you're playing solo. So I think 2 is like, if you play solo, 2 thwart is ideal. 3 is just like awesomeness, because then you're like one-shotting almost every side scheme or whatnot on solo. But I don't usually play solo these days, so I don't really care. But yeah, bumping up to 2 thwart is decent. Where are we? Coat. Okay. So there's a hero response. It's a thwart after you play a thwart event. So you have to play an event card that has the thwart keyword, exhaust Jubilee's coat, and choose a scheme. Remove 1 threat from the scheme for each different resource type used to pay for that event. Okay. So yeah, I get where they're going with this. So, and I assume, yeah, her Tech's hero ability is going to give you that kind of odd off resource. So basically, if you're playing like, what's that card? That 2-cost Justice card. Oh gosh, I should know my Marvel Champion cards, but it's a 2-cost that removes like 4, and if you pay with a Genius, or no, it removes 3, but if you pay with the Genius, I think it removes 4. So like that type of card, you could say you had a physical resource, then use her ability, so it's a physical. Wild makes it whatever, Genius. So there you're doing the 2 extra. You exhaust her coat, so that 4 now becomes 6. Remove 1 threat from that scheme for each different resource type used to pay for that event. Now it gets even more crazier. For Justice? No, I don't think it's called for Justice. It's one of the older Justice cards that's been around since the core days. I just forget the name of the title. Not many people play it anymore because there's so many good Justice cards out there that do better thwart. But yeah, so here's the thing, right? Why the coat is pretty good is because you could do your Overwatches. Now, Overwatches read, it's an upgrade that you attach to a side scheme, and then whatever thwart you do to that scheme, you could bounce that total thwart to another. So this is where like Jubilee already sounds pretty stellar in Justice, and I'm sure she's going to be good in other aspects as well. But the fact that you could really magnify those Overwatches, kind of similar to Miss Marvel, how she could do her shrink and make the thwart bigger too. Jubilee, but Jubilee can kind of do it a little more consistently, probably. I don't know. I mean, she can get her item a lot quicker than Miss Marvel can. That's what I'm trying to get at, because she can literally play her shopping spree, have a teammate help her get it on turn 1, and then she's going for the fences, basically. Okay, so let's go to sunglasses. So that's pretty cool. I like the art of that. That looks really 90s cartoon. Jubilee sunglasses upgrade 2 costs. Jubilee gets +1 attack. So now she becomes basically a 2/2/2. And I assume sunglasses are going to work almost like the same thing. After you play an attack event, exhaust Jubilee's sunglasses and choose an enemy. Deal 1 damage to that enemy for each different resource type used to pay for that event. So not as good as Justice, or like the Overwatch has way more like mileage out of it. You can tell like way more kind of a lot, like Overwatch really changes. Let me put it this way. Overwatch was a big game changer when it came out, and especially for heroes that can naturally amplify their thwart more, even better. So Jubilee is one of those heroes that can do amplification. So yeah, but the adding more attack, I mean, yeah, that's nice, but what is it synergizing with in the card pool that we have, right? You know, I guess you could say if you do like a drop kick, no, drop kicks is a really bad example because you usually want to pay all physical to get the stun and the draw. Yeah, sorry, please. I don't mean drop kick, but there's a few, I think, more costlier events that don't require you to play all physicals that I guess, but yeah, I'm okay. I'm not blown away with this like mechanic of her. Like it seems a little simple, basic, but again, I haven't seen all the cards yet. But compared to Magic, Iceman, Bishop, they just seemed like they had way more cooler things going on with their like upgrades and stuff like that. But again, it is the thing is if Mallrat, like again, Mutant Education is going to get you your player size scheme back, your shopping spree. And so Injustice seems like such a good thing for her because she'll be confusing, flipping back to Alter, doing Mutant Education, getting a shopping spree out. There just has to be a way, like, again, if you play the support and basic that readies, when you play an X-Men ally, you can ready an X-Men. If you put honorary X-Men on her, then she can also do them all on one go, or if you're playing solo even. So that's really cool. Another thing, like I said, based on the wording, again, I'm just reading the wording. It looks like Gambit can literally just one-shot this in Alter Ego, or any hero that can kind of remove or cheat the rules in Alter Ego. Because like you have Black Widow, for instance, her Covert Ops removes 3. I think it removes 3 or 4. I can't remember. Confused. But it doesn't have heroic action in the event card. So you can play it in your altar. So I assume that would work on this. But again, maybe it's a Fantasy Flight mistake again. Who knows? Because they've been caught with their pants down a couple times with some mistakes in their game. But I think if what I'm saying, those interactions do work like that, I think it's cool. I think that's really neat that they let the door open, so to speak, for that. So that's our general items there. You got 2 Thwart and Attack, bumps the stats up. Then we got our first Firecracker. Outside her shopping trip, Jubilee's events are where her power really shines. She can fry an enemy and stun them with Firecracker. So it's attack superpower, though I don't think you want to be playing your Def Focus because you want to take advantage of this whole 2 different resources. If you're Def Focusing, you're losing a damage, and also you probably are not going to get the stun because you have to pay for this card using 2 different resource types. If you Def Focus, it brings it down to 1, therefore you're missing out on the stun. So yeah, I definitely don't think you want to run Def Focus. I feel like I got to sneeze. Oh gosh, I'm like fighting a sneeze right now. Okay. Oh gosh, I can feel it. I'm about to but I'm holding it back for your entertainment. Firecracker 2 costs. Okay, there it goes. Firecracker, 2 costs. Basically, you're gonna get 6 for 2 with a stun. Yeah, that's good money right there. So running like X-Jet, running, that's a resource generator, running if you could sneak in what do you call it? The Quinjet for the Avengers. By playing the player side scheme in basic to do that. So there's way to like just superpower Jubilee to have a whole bunch of wild generators. So you can go to town basically. But yeah, that's good value right there. Flash of Light. Now this is our third event, hero kitted card. Remove 3 threat from a scheme if you pay for this card using 2 different resource types. Confuse the enemy. All right, so that's really good. I mean, confuses in this game are quite strong. You know, they give you breathing room. They help you control the game state. So again, very solid. It's a low cost. Again, if you get that, she has a natural generator basically on her. But it does cause her to exhaust though. That's kind of iffy, but so yeah, both really solid 2 cost cards that both do an ability here. Oh, this doesn't sorry guys. I think I said it goes to 6 damage. It does not. You just get a stun on this. So correct me on that. I'm oh wait, no, it does go to 6. Sorry, because you're using coat and you're using sunglasses. Okay, apologize. Yeah. So yeah, so Flash of Light would be 5 in a confuse with playing your coat and sunglasses. All right, yeah, so we gotta, and you're gonna be getting those like right away. Like that's probably gonna be on your to-do list. Blinding Flash, so it's our big one, 3 costs. Now, what's interesting, they've put superpower on all these cards, and I assume there's gonna be some people, especially content creators, gonna be saying, you know, play the Def Focus, but I think it's like counterintuitive. I mean, I love Def Focus, but I want to increase the damage. I want to increase the thwart. I want to try to do the ability. So I feel like it's almost like tempting us with all this superpower, but I don't think it's worth it. Choose X enemies, where X is a number of different resource types used to pay for this event. Stun and confuse each chosen enemy. This could be decent in a game where you're locked in with some powerful minions, like especially Nemesis and stuff. But this is kind of reminds me of like the Hulk Gamma Slam or the Shockwave one where he does 3, 3, and 3 to 3 different enemies. Unless you're playing, I think, like a high player counted game, this is not going to be super. It's going to be a very costly card for solo, but again, you are getting that stun and confuse off, but extremely powerful in a high player kind of game where there's some powerful minions out as well. Yeah, definitely good. Peter says, yeah, Def Focus won't be good with her. Yeah, I totally agree. Adam says Hit and Run would be great card to play if you have her coat and sunglasses on the board. Yeah. No, I agree with you, Adam. Good call out. Yeah, because Hit and Run was basically only viable really for Gamora. And even then, I didn't really like running it with Gamora because you had better aspect events to pick besides that anyways. Blinding Flash. Okay, so not bad, but again, I think solo, again, that's the poison of solo, right? You know, you're going to find there's cards in the game such as Problem Solver, such as maybe Blinding Flash. Even though Blinding Flash is still, yeah, you pay 3, a stun and confuse. That's pretty good on the villain, you know. So, but still, it does feel bad if you're only doing it just on the villain, right? Different copies of signature events have different printed resource icons to help for her multiple resource types. Okay, so she's gonna have doubles of different combination of resources. That's pretty cool. But you can always power her events with plasma energy. Also, that's a power and genius. Power and so it's going to be power and something. Power genius, power and physical. And genius. Oh, okay. Genius and physical. All right. So I guess she has one of each. That's pretty nice. So she's kind of a pretty strong ramp hero. Like any hero that has doubles, a couple doubles or a triple, are quite strong ramp heroes. Ramp heroes can be very explosive at the start of the game. So that's kind of cool. Although right now we have so many, like in our card pool from all champions, you can pretty much make any hero kind of a ramp hero. But I mean, the pool aspect makes you a ramp hero right off the bat with the triples in the pool aspect. So we're getting to the new Justice cards. So Huss, 4-cost ally, pretty expensive. But when Huss has an interrupt, when Huss has a basic power, uses a basic power such as thwart or attack, spend up to 3 resources. If you spend at least 1, Huss gets +1 to that power for this use. Heal 1 damage from Huss. Ready Huss after this. Okay, so Huss is actually quite amazing because this is an ally basically, and an X-Men ally. So think about it. You're going to be putting maybe a training on them. So you can kind of Voltron Husk. So Husk is a potential new Voltron. You can ready her. So you can go to town with her. So like, I'm not saying she's better than Iron Man in leadership, but this looks pretty promising. The fact that you can pump her up with the trainings from the X-Men tribal upgrades, that seems very, very strong. Thing about Voltron decks, they're a little bit slow to get going, but once you got them set, they become like pretty much unstoppable near the end of the game because they can just deal a ton of damage, a ton of thwart removal. But yeah, she's a solid contender for a great Voltron deck build, or just having an ally out there that just does not die and gives you extra reach, basically. You got Disguise here, which is the item. Okay, so that's going to work with Jubilee. Play under any player's control. Exhaust Disguise and your identity. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Oh, so Disguise it does work because it doesn't use the hero thwart action here. So I assume it works with, so this allows you just to knock off Shopping Spree. You play it, you attach it, you exhaust it, and boom. Oh, and your identity. Okay. Sorry. You have to do your identity too. Okay. So that's a little bit overkill, but it does give you, it gives you room to thwart off maybe a scheme out there and you're stuck in your alter identity. But again, you know, with Jubilee's basic, it's going to be a 2 with her code on. So you're only getting like 1 more. But I guess if you wanted to Shopping Spree, again, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not over the moon, I guess, with Disguise. But it would have been nicer if it said, if you didn't have to exhaust your identity, because like I said, heroes can generally exhaust and thwart for 2, so it's kind of like, you know, the only thing I see positive is like you can get Shopping Spree out of there in 1 go without having to have someone help you with it. But then you're even removing, yeah, you're still exhausting. Yeah. Anyways, it's interesting. Jubilee's powers are potent, but she will eventually have to flip back to alter ego to rest and recover and go on another shopping spree. Thankfully, her pre-built Justice deck comes with plenty of tools for keeping threat in check. Husk, yeah, we talked about her. Chamber. This is another big dropper, a big boy right here. 4. 2/2 with an interrupt star. So when Chamber attacks, Psionic X-Men, Chamber takes -1 consequential damage after he attacks a confused enemy. Um, I guess like you could. I don't know. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. For a 4 cost ally, they have to wow me pretty much, and I'm the type of player that likes a quicker tempo type of action. So whether it's a entering play type ability, Nick Fury, Maria Hill, Magic, get rid of maybe a minion with a bad attachment that's not elite. I'm not over the moon with this 4 cost. They're too expensive, a little bit slow. You need to get it confused out there. Don't like it. We saw disguise. So basically, I will say this, guys. I was so wowed with Magic and Bishop and Iceman. I'm not getting the same feeling, the same Disney first time butterflies. I'm kind of like not impressed at the moment with Jubilee. But again, this could change when I actually play her, and because I've gone into a lot of times where I broke out a hero and I'm like, okay, let's see what this hero's about, and I got wowed just playing it. So I think it's it's one thing to maybe be not super excited by reading a preview. I'm not given all her cards. Obviously, there's a few more cards that aren't revealed here. But I'm not mechanically. She seems a little simple, if I'm gonna put it that way. Like you're basically just, oh, I use her like totally. Get a wild, and then I use one of my cards in my hand, and there I got the kicker. She's a kicker amplification type hero, which I guess you could say we haven't really gotten an amplification kicker hero in the game yet. So maybe this is fine, right? I mean, there's some heroes in the game, like I said, Venom, Flash Thompson, that can kind of. He's not a kicker type hero, but he can generate a resource like her. But I don't know. I'm not like, to me, it's not very exciting. Like, and then you could say, well, Bishop is kind of a resource kind of mini game type of hero, but I think he's more interesting. I think it is a lot. The reason why I think Bishop is more interesting than Jubilee is because he has a lot more deck building variants that I can see already with him. And the reason why I'm more excited about Bishop is we have not, like, Bishop is like going into a territory where no hero has remotely touched. He's really going into those special resource cards. So in basics, in the power of all of us. And that's really cool because you're building a deck. Well, go charge it. That's really cool because now you're going to be building a certain way for Bishop. Jubilee, I'm not. The first thing that came to my head with Jubilee was like, okay, so she can use Overwatch. And that's all I'm getting so far. Like, far as like, okay, yes, I know I could be a little more creative in things, but I'm not, I'm not seeing anything exciting for me wanted to deck build with her per se. Again, we're getting a lot of new cards coming in the box that haven't been revealed. Maybe there's some cool cards that haven't been shown that she's going to really take full advantage of. It is cool, like I said at the beginning. Now, she is kind of a pseudo support hero for the itemized heroes, and Gambit is one of them, I believe. Gambit has a bunch of items, and I think in the lore, Jubilee and Gambit are quite close. Like, not close romantically, but like more like, well, I think she has maybe a small crush on him, I think. But, he's obviously much older than her. But they're like, friends, I think, or like, so. And the fact that I based on the wording, I think he can literally one shot her shopping spree, get his item, like get his vest and his staff. So I'm that. So to me, if that is correct, if they didn't make a rule mistake on that, I'm really looking to team up Jubilee and Gambit. I think they're gonna make like a kick-ass team together. So that that seems very exciting to me. Not really her deck per se, but the fact that I see some synergies with Gambit. So they're going to make a really good combo. Does Wolverine have items too? I'm not sure. I can't remember. Peter says, same. Initial impression, okay. Yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, I'm trying to be as honest as people as possible. I'm not trying to be like a killjoy, like, oh, Descry's not super excited for Jubilee. I like Jubilee. I don't have, I don't like the character. It's just that mechanically, I'm not seeing, like, I feel like they could have added maybe one more kind of interesting mini game mechanic with her, right? And I'm not seeing that so far. The only thing I really see is team her up with heroes that have items, especially Gambit, based on what you can do in Alter Ego, and run all 3 Overwatches basically. Waylay. Okay, so this is exciting. This is an attack Injustice. Injustice kind of struggles with damage. At your hero thwarts, deal 4 damage to an enemy. 7 damage instead if that thwart removed the last threat from a scheme. Excuse me? 7? After your hero thwarts, deal 4 damage to enemy. That is a lot of damage, guys. Now, remember, you know, you can, oh gosh, that 7 in a Justice event card. Are you kidding me? Because you could put, here's nothing. You can set up a player size scheme, have just amount of like threat left on it. You have 2 or 3 of these in your hand, and I believe you can timing window all 3 of them as long as you're paying that actual cost of defeating. The same timing windows there for you to play like a bunch of these and do ridiculous amount of damage. 7 is respectable. 7 is quite a lot. But wow, yeah. So that's pretty good actually. 3 steps ahead. This is a 3 cost thwart. It actually does more, right? With Jubilee, with your sunglasses, you pay 3 different resources. That 7 becomes 10. So literally you have a Hulk smash here with Jubilee in a Justice aspect card. Well, I wouldn't say a Hulk smash because Hulk is attacking you with its basic. But yeah, it's like 10. Well, yeah, you could say it's a Hulk smash basically. Okay, I'm a believer of that card. 3 steps ahead, thwart, hero action for each different resource type. Obviously made for Jubilee. You used to pay for this card, choose a scheme and remove 2 threat from it. Okay, so you could scale this quite a bit. So 2, 4, 6 plus her coat 8. So if you have, again, if you have Overwatch on and you play this, you're bouncing 8 off for a 3 coster. Like, that's redonkulous. Like, okay, so I'll make my prediction right now. She's the queen of Overwatch, basically right now. Well, she's one of the S tiers for Overwatch builds. I'll just say that right now. I mean, because there's ways to go bonkers with Overwatch if you build right with certain heroes, but like she's naturally just tooled for an Overwatch build. So that's kind of cool. So she looks really good in Justice. She has the syndrome of you might only want to play her in Justice because she's so good in this aspect. Wolverine 4-coster. So this looks like a crappier version of the Gresham Wolverine. Wolverine attack gains piercing, but you're still taking the 2 damage from the attack. So it's the same stats as the Wolverine in aggression, but after you change to alter ego form, heal 3 damage from Wolverine. No, maybe that could be, no, that is slightly better. Because, well, if you're flipping a lot, which in Justice you will be, so this could be better than the aggression Wolverine if you flip a lot, which you should be doing in as what she does, basically. Okay, cool. Now I will say this because I'll probably get hit a bit in the comments. Like, I will say, yes, when you're deck building with her based on her shopping spree, yes, there's some items I think in the aspects that you can like go shopping for basically. So yeah, you could say she is a cool hero to deck build for, because now you're going to be looking for all these different items in the game to kind of put in her deck. Okay, so I will give you that. And to her defense, no other heroes doing that, right? So I do appreciate Fantasy Flight for, I will say I like when they go into directions where they have not explored, and they're doing that with Jubilee. But I just feel like, far as excitement goes, it's not as exciting as Magic Iceman and Bishop. But again, maybe when I bring her to the table, my thoughts of her will change a lot, because you have to play them. Generation X, it's a new Justice player size game. Each X-Men character gets +1 thwart while making a basic thwart against a scheme. Okay. When defeated, each player may search their deck and discard pile for identity-specific event and add it to their hand. Wow. So that's really good, guys, because there's so many good identity events in the game for heroes. I mean, there's even like She-Hulk has her split personality. That is super strong to get that. Or her one that she does like 14 damage or something like that. There's Hulk Smash. There's a ton of really, really strong events that this is awesome. And the fact that you put it on the table and you can push that emergency button to, we need our mega event card now. So you defeat it, although it is going in the victory. But like, when the timing is right, you can pop this when things get hot. It's a 0 cost, which is awesome. I mean, that is good. Like, when you're under a lot of pressure in like a hard game, like if you scale the game in a hard way with harder difficulty, harder modular villain, these costs to put things out do start to matter, because like I said, the more harder scenario you're in, the more your back is against the wall, so to speak. But this can be put out quite easy, and then you can pop it when the time is ready. Unlucky duel. Okay, so this is with Wolverine and her. Confuse the enemy, deal 4 damage to a confused enemy. Yeah, that is a good one. And the fact that Wolverine is literally going to stay out the whole entire game, that is a safe card to put in your deck. A lot of times with these basic teamwork cards. Oh, it's not a teamwork. Oh yeah, it is a team up card. A lot of times they're risky because the signature ally or the ally you put out there is not going to stay on the board the whole entire time. But like Wolverine, like is literally going to be out the whole time. If you chump block with Wolverine, you're doing something wrong. What up, Maurice? How you doing? Doing the preview for Jubilee. So then it looks like that is it. So that is all the preview that they're gonna share with me. And what can I say about her? I'm gonna wait and see. I think I have to bring her to the table, but my initial impression didn't blow my socks off, right? And I'm just being real with everybody, but I do respect that Fantasy Flight is trying to do. I would classify her into a new kind of as a amplify match resource hero. So she's got amplification, and she has a mini game of matching resources. And then she has another kind of sub-economy under Mallrat, which you can mutant education to constantly get back and alter. Justice just seems like the perfect fit for her. But again, if you're in a player counted game, you can kind of go back anytime you need to in a player counted game. In a solo game, again, that is the poisons of solo, basically. You are more penalized to go into alter if you're not in Justice. But I think she's cool. And I think she's I will say this, right off the bat, she is not a weak hero. And you know me, I don't do tier lists, like power tier lists, but I would say nobody's going to complain at the table if you bring Jubilee. She's a pseudo support hero with any heroes in the game that can get items out. Even in aspects, you could talk with your team and say, hey, I'm Jubilee, pick up some aspect cards with items, and you can have fun and go on a shopping spree. So I think thematically it's fun. It's kind of funny. Again, and that's what I like about Fantasy Flight with Marvel Champions is they continue to push that envelope of just, not being super serious with the game, but really, embracing that thematic atmosphere, comic book style. And it's fun. And I think that's why a lot of people play it. And that's why the game has survived this long. But I think a lot is riding on the expansion box. I think if a lot of us veterans play this expansion box, and if it doesn't really blow us away, I mean, it doesn't have to not literally blow us away, but I think a lot of us veterans out there are expecting a really good box this time around, being the defining conclusion of this saga, and the fact that they've had Tony now, Caleb. They buffed up their playtester team a little bit. I think it's a little bit bigger. So we're assuming it to be a really good box, right? And then, but my thing is this: I think if they flop on the expansion box, which I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's one thing Fantasy Flight, what I've known from them, which I've seen improvement from them, is that they're a lot more cautious. Just like I don't think they're one of those companies that just rushes something out just to make money and then be like, oops, yeah, sorry, we didn't play test that enough. Yes, they've been caught a few times. Maybe you could say, obviously we know that Hulk was sort of rushed out a bit. It wasn't fully grinded and play tested perfectly. And that's why, Hulk is sort of a meme, and who knows about Valkyrie, but I do like Valkyrie. But let's talk about arcade, because I was going on a little bit of bunny trail there, but I don't think you guys mind my bunny trails. I think you guys like them. A Deadly Game arcade. So he's known as the Trap Guy. He is a minion. He is not keyworded with Elite. That's interesting. So let's see. Arcade cannot take damage while a trap. Arcade cannot take damage while a trap size game is in play. Interesting. One revealed, discard cards from the top encounter deck until a trap size game is discarded and reveal it. Now, here's the thing. Magic, the ally, can bypass it, right? There's also knock out the guards and stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there. You can even mind control him with Phoenix. And you can do a lot of shenanigans because he does not have the keyword Elite. So there is ways to just flat out destroy him or convert him to your side or put him back in the counter deck, which is kind of cool. I will say this: the Elite traded word is like a love-hate relationship with me, because yes, I think there's times where you don't want a villain to be just mind controlled easily or discarded with a sort of a side scheme or event. But it just seems there's a lot of elites in this game. And I think it's overly used, in my opinion. I think the Elite word should have been used for maybe the most powerful minions out there. We have a smother of Elite minions, and which is sad because a lot of the cool combos and different interactions doesn't affect elites. Now, I might be on my own little boat crying about that. But I do feel like it is kind of a downer when, especially if we're playing Phoenix and you can't mind control something kind of weak and it's got the Elite keyword. I think they overtune that a bit is what I'm trying to say. But that's cool that I appreciate. I think they shouldn't have 90% of the hard minions in the game to be Elite, because I think it's cooler to do shenanigans to the non-traded Elite keywords. So Assassin doesn't have it, but he does have this thing called there's a trap size gameplay. He cannot take damage. So that's cool. So that's arcade. Elaborate traps. So this is a treachery. Resolve the when defeat ability on each trap. So that's pretty bad for the heroes. Size scheme as if you defeated it. If no abilities were resolved this way, discard cards from the top of the counter deck and reveals a trap size scheme and discard it and reveal it. Yeah, so that's good. It has a built-in fail mechanism. But again, how bad are these traps? We don't know. Let's. So this is the first one. Welcome to Murder World. Hazard's always pretty bad. So when defeat, the player who defeated the size scheme takes 2 damage. So yeah, so this would translate into just a 2 damage treachery, which isn't too bad. I mean, 2 damage. I mean, yes, you could say late game if things are tight and the villains are really putting pressure on you. Yeah, 2 damage could literally take you out. So, I don't know. Part of me thinks 3 would have been probably the best number because 2, a lot of times 2 is like nothing. And that would make it a lot more scarier, I think, if they had it at 3. But that's just my opinion. You guys know I like the game very challenging, right? I just don't like, I don't like that feeling when it's like caught off guard. Oh, my 0-cost skill investigator goes. Oh no. Or my temporary upgrade that is discarded at the end of the turn goes away. Trap, Arcade's Funhouse, hinder, amplification. The player who defeated the size scheme is stunned. If they're already stunned, they discard an ally or upgrade the control. Okay, so I do like that effect. I think that's pretty nasty, especially if you're doing like a Voltron build. But getting stunned isn't so bad in the game if you build around it. There's a lot of cards that you can even run to deck tech against it. But I like what they're trying to do. It's they're making things more interesting with the win defeats. The player, I just think they could probably tune these defeats a little more stronger. Not too much, just a little bit more, because I think it's on the weak side, to be honest. Or yeah, but again, that's coming from someone that likes it at a harder difficulty. The player who defeated this size scheme is confused. Okay, so that's pretty bad. So this is pretty bad because like you want to get this off so you can reduce threat on the main, but by doing that you get confused, which is going to slow you down. So you definitely have to when you're playing this modular, bring Night Nurse or bring a deck that can deal with stun and confuse, I think. So that's pretty much it. But that is a cool modular. I would say they could have tuned the damage ratios and the number up by like 1 more. And I think that would have been fine. But that's just me though. And that's going to be the Jubilee preview. I guess I could go to my main. And we're back. As that was a long back intro. So here we are. If anybody has stuff they want to say in chat, questions for me. Again, we're not getting Jubilee right with the expansion box. She's going to be, I don't think so. Or maybe I should have read that again. When does she come out? I assumed she'd be coming out a little bit later. Let's see if I go to the bottom. Does it? You can pre-order your own copy of Jubilee Hero Pack at your local through your website. Launches in July. Yeah, so she. Yeah, so I guess that's kind of the sad part is you're not going to be able to get her right with the box, the expansion box. But later down the road you can kind of revisit it, I guess. But I will say this, guys, my main thing right now, like for me personally as a Marvel Champion player and a content creator for it, is if AOA doesn't blow me away, that rhymed, that might be the end of Descry Gaming far as Marvel Champions go for a while. I'm putting a lot of pressure to be blown away by it. Jubilee and AOE spoilers. What a great day, low. And I don't know what the other community members think or what their expectations is, but I'm an old dog. I've been playing Marvel Champions since the beginning, and I play the crap out of the game. Obviously, guys, I've done a ton of content for it, and I'm excited for the box. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also a little scared because my expectations are quite high. I am excited for it. I like the heroes. I like the missions. I like the preview of the villains a bit. Well, my only dislike was the art for Apocalypse was a little bit too cartoony. But other than that, that was just a nitpick. But I'm excited for it. But me to get out of the game, or at least to shelve it, not to leave the game forever, but definitely to put it on the back burner until Fantasy Flight can prove to me that they care about what I want, right? And again, I'm literally talking for myself. This is not for other people in the community. This is just Death Cry Gaming and where I'm at with Marvel Champions. Obviously, I'm not going to expect people to have that same feeling because I'm a very unique case. I'm someone that's been there since day one and done a lot of content, played all the heroes, done tons of deck building. And, I've sort of put myself in this weird predicament. I know there's a lot of content creators out there that spark and the magic is still super bright in their eyes, and they love the difficulty, they love the game, and it hasn't gone stale for them. But for me, I'm on that edge of I need innovation. I need something different for Marvel Champions. I want to be I want like that new kind of challenge experience. I want to get blown away by a different mechanic. I want to explore different deck building with these heroes and be challenged in these scenarios that they're giving us. And that's just being 100% real to you guys. My channel, honestly, is going to keep going. But I am, I'm going to be, the games I put out there are, the content I put out there are going to be what I want to play. And I mean, Marvel Champions has had a good run on my channel, and it's still the main focus on my channel. But I've got everything riding on this box. Now, you could say to me, well, that's stupid, Descry. Why would you do that? You're setting yourself up for failure. I could see it. Maybe I am. But at the same token, you can't blame me. I mean, I just told you my whole history of and my walk with Marvel Champions. So I don't know. To me, I feel like I fell into this box, okay, based on how much I played this game and how much I know. Now, that being said, I might, if I don't get blown away, the game goes on my shelf. I'm not going to bring it to the table and play it, obviously, but the knowledge is always there. All those hours of playing it, I can still release content and give you guys good strategies, good ideas. So I can be kind of like a unique content creator that kind of talks about interesting things about the game. But definitely the Let's Plays are going to probably just cease and exist if I don't see anything innovative or exciting in this box set. That being said, I've been, if you know me, I've been pretty excited on every box set. And I'm not, like I said, I had my nitpicks on the last box with the candies, but overall, I gave that campaign box a good review. And I recommended it, and it met my expectations, but I wanted to be critical in the review so that if someone at Fantasy Flight was watching, they could see where I think they kind of dropped the ball in. And I think that is good because if you want the game to have a longer lifespan, like, okay, if they want Descry to keep playing it, that's where I'm calling out little mistakes and things that can be better. But again, if they're not looking for me as a player, and again, I might, I've been told this, like, Descry, you're not the typical player of the game. Almost to a point where, like, you don't count. That's what I get the impression of. And that's fine. I understand it. I understand, like, when game companies make a game or whatever, they're going for the broad audience. They're not going for that spectrum of the far end or the far beginning. They're going for that chunk audience, sort of in the middle. And, you know, I'm okay with that. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm not going to try to sugarcoat and just like pretend. And, you know, I want to be honest with people. And we'll see what happens. So this was my preview, and this was my kind of my other preview of leading up to the box. So we'll see what happens. But I'll definitely tell you this: there will be a let's play of the box. There'll be a review, and then maybe the grand conclusion. Did it blow Descry Gaming off his feet? Am I gonna shelve Marvel Champions going forward? If I had to guess, it's probably going to meet my expectations. But you never know. You never know, because they can make previews look really sick, really cool. And then you get it, and then you find a bunch of problems. So hopefully that's not the case. Anyways, I'm going to sign off, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, if you guys want to respond in the comments, I'll try to get at your comments. But again, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. And I'm probably going to see you when the box comes out.